Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch.
Woohoo!
Special thanks to Capcom for providing a copy of this game and sponsoring this series. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when more Ace Attorney arrives. So today, we're jumping back into the courtroom and hearing what Emma has to say.
Yay! This is getting so exciting.
I know, right?
When I saw that man raise his knife!
Hold it! When you say that man, I assume you refer to Dark, correct?
Yes! At least I think it was him.
You think it was him? Okay. You think?
All I could really see were shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then, you... go on.
I panicked, and I rushed toward both of them.
Why would you do something so dangerous?
What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall.
She seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
But she didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help that other person.
Very courageous.
I think I knocked the knife away from... I knocked away the man with the knife.
What do you mean, you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock.
Okay.
I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was a witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next?
Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger.
Are you sure about this?
Of course. See, I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite... verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere.
I mean, the head shape looks interesting.
Yeah. Now I finally remember!
Oh, brother, just when you thought that things had caused enough commotion, tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
Okay, well, there's only a couple things that could look like a shadow. We've got this, which didn't exist. There's another...
There's something else that could look like the blue...
Maybe the vase.
Yeah, look at the vase has like ears.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, so we have to rotate it so it looks like the blue badger.
So make it look like 3. Oh, you almost had it there.
What?
You want me to try it or no?
Does that look like a badger head? No. Wait, there.
Oh my gosh!
Here?
I think so.
I mean, that looks like ears. Does it have to be completely stable? Wait, why does it have this there?
Oh,
the dark red stain must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Only the fragments found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it. Okay, that's not gonna help us. We need to make this look like a badger head.
Can I? Oh, if you move it like so the tip is only coming up a little bit.
Which, well,
like.
Why don't you show me?
Okay, like this. If you move it like you had it, and then only like the tip like that. See, it looks like a badger.
Like that?
Like this. See? There.
Okay. So then how do you present it?
I don't know. Zoom out. Present. Like this, I guess. Oh, sorry.
What did you do?
Sorry.
What did you do? What did you do? Okay, never mind. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this! But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar.
It's a really weird shaped jar. But Mr. Wright! That doesn't even look anything like the blue badger!
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain old jar. However, what if you were to change your viewpoint? On a viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this form. Alright, so I was jumping the gun. I did play this a long time ago, so the ears need to be...
going up.
How to rotate it? No.
There you go, turn it, good. And then have that thing a little bit peeking up a little bit, just
Peeking,
like
oh, because it
middle.
has...
No, you had it correct before.
Really? Because, I mean, he has that point right there.
No, well, are you sure? Because, okay, how do you rotate?
You rotate with, it tells you right there.
But this would make a shadow.
That would make a shadow like that?
You know what, if you don't want to rotate it, so I feel like this would make it, that's the same form as him.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, then you can do it.
Well, try presenting it, see what happens.
Okay.
Well, is this a miracle or what? Well, it worked. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger.
Dun dun dun!
Whoa. No. It can't be!
Dun dun dun!
It's a jar! Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this! Objection! Although we all enjoy Mr. Wright's dramatic performances, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
I'm trying to think of how it does.
Indeed. Very well, then please tell us.
Yes.
Changes the location.
Oh.
What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar?
Oh, because she was on the other side of the room.
The location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, might I add, Mr. Wright? Yes, well, knowing this is where she could have seen this jar... Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. But isn't that still their office? Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's desk, it's the same room!
Yeah, I know.
Yes! Why would he do that? There's no reason.
To set up a crime. Or something.
Exactly. What? If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
There has to be something shady that was going on.
I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Oh my gosh, the spear.
What? Ah!
A suit of armor holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes.
Oh my god.
And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking! Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility?
What?
Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall... Ooh!
Emma did it on accident?
Yep.
Whoa. What? No way! That's why Lana was trying to hide? Emma? You mean... Mr. Marshall died because of me?
Oh, man.
No!
Thud.
Faint.
I think she fainted. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony.
Wow.
This is unprecedented!
I know. Where's Emma? Objection! What? What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances...
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's hard for me to think.
Motion.
How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you.
Huh?
If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma had done, isn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof.
Have to prove.
Need it, yeah. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I'm willing to bet that you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
Oh. Well, we certainly can't get that dead people to testify now, can we? This all has been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Oh my gosh! This is crazy.
Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah, what do you mean, Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible!
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that victim may have left behind. is in the evidence.
Okay.
This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Yeah, it has to be. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky.
Huh?
Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
You're breaking Lana's heart.
It would be the jar.
There's something scribbled on it.
The message is left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name?
As that thing could, it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on the jar. That's an A. Or an M. It looks like someone it looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is connect the dots. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely. So all we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
How are we going to connect them? No!
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? He's intrigued. Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains reveal us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim could have written under these circumstances. His murderer's name. Okay, so how do... I mean, this is an E, obviously.
It looks like an E. Well, it's got a line through it. The only thing it could be is an E, or...
Yep.
It has to be an E.
Go like this.
Okay. Well, that is the... yeah, I think that's...
Connect this.
Clear. And then there's a line between that.
And...
There are those dots.
There's... where? Oh.
And
yep,
then,
there it is. That is pretty conclusive.
I don't know if we need to connect the rest of the E or no.
It looks... I mean, I'm not seeing anything else to connect.
Oh, okay. Alright. So I guess we're good.
Unless this is saying it needs to be connected there.
I don't know. I feel like...
I mean, it clearly says Emma, but...
Yeah. I don't know. That doesn't look good. Look, what are you...
I don't know.
No!
Let's try that.
Let's try that. Indeed.
It's a defense's attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana last. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. There's her name. Emma. So this is the final message that Marshall left behind.
But why would he accuse Emma of it if it was a mistake? She didn't mean to murder anyone. Why would he accuse her in his last...
Of all the people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky.
I don't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
If he knew the whole time, then was he withholding evidence?
Chief Gant! I don't know. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. He was a serial killer.
He killed those other people.
Not only that, but you forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
No, you did. Yeah, Edgeworth never forged anything.
But Joe Dark was really a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
Murderer.
Murderer. I'm afraid that's not important.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is not a light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite that, anyone may say, the facts cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They may have sent an innocent man to his death. How could he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! Order!
Whoa! The court is going wild.
Yeah. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Wow.
What? To be continued?
Or is it?
Wait, you're continuing it right now?
It's only been 20 minutes.
Oh.
Time for recess! February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, great. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've been happier dang it. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you. If there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day, so it's a book. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really!
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
Shut it.
A message? No. She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read.
Wait, you haven't read any law books yet?
Some lawyer. Evidence from law securely slipped in your pocket.
I'm sure he's read some law books.
It doesn't look like that book will do any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me... Mr. Edgeworth, the trial, the real one, hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you're unaware of. Emma Skye was found out unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
Huh?
What? And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes.
Wait, what?
This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Phoenix knows who it is. It's Gant. February 25th, 12:52, District Courtroom number 9. Oh boy. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witness. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and, Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
Okay.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, I agree. But a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness? Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Chief Gant!
Yes! Finally!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Yeah, get over here.
Damon Gant? What does that have to do with anything?
He's evil. I know it.
As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Very true. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Oh dear.
What a great job, bailiffs.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke?
No, you're a witness.
I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir.
Not anymore.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation, please.
You're making Edgeworth mad.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant, and I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident, shall we? Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, what a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons?
Why would you have weapons?
Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
What? Why?
Of course, such an action carries with it a certain risk. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
You didn't warn us.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. Wow.
I really don't like this guy.
I know. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. I don't know about that, Chief.
What if Lana fainted or... I don't know.
Then what's your jar doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on his testimony, sorry.
Wait, he said he had nothing to do with the... He had nothing to do with the crime scene.
I'm jumping the gun. Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious.
Oh my gosh. How could Lana push him all the way up there?
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
It does not.
If the police chief has the right to the chief of police has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Right.
We're gonna present the jar again, except this time, hopefully it'll work.
Okay.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, he slipped up, and the power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene.
What?
Yes, as you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. Yeah, you did. The jar will be your gravestone. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. That's not true, but I'm afraid that claim is something you can't back up. Explain yourself, righto.
Yeah.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
Yeah, the piece of the jar was in his thing!
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
No, it's not. It's a jar.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you have played a part in an illegal investigation.
Oh my gosh!
Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then? That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
What the?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence.
We did find it there.
Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Yes!
Worthy, my boy.
Oh my gosh, that's right!
Not even detectives are exempt from the law.
It's 2 witnesses versus 1 loser.
Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
That's not happening.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Whew.
Alright. I hate this guy.
I know, right? Bad dude. Let's see, what was it now? Ah, jar fragment and a list. Ha! For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Emma was there as a witness too, though.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe your protocol. Do you understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
You wouldn't let us look at your...
Oh? Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Oh, all right, Udgy. In return, though, I know that place, right? What are these guys, telepathic?
What? Are they making a deal?
Evidence and forgery. Oof.
Cross-examination.
For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after dark was convicted, they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery.
We have to prove when they were found?
Arranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Hold it! That's right, Shadow. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've been reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That you would, of course, be the position you have today, Chief of Police.
Yes!
Oh!
That's right!
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Wow, this guy's untouchable.
Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SN9 merely sped up the inevitable title. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger. You might end up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
If that's true, then you're guilty.
Therefore, it's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do, my friend.
Oh my gosh, they're like BFFs.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Okay. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd be better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Yet an accomplice. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but it would benefit you. You might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears as you're positively determined to betray the chief. There's a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped to forge evidence? That would be his partner, Lana Skye.
Yes!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant? Oh?
Yeah, they were working together.
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. Wow. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. Oh? But how could he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Whoa.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Wow. Wait! You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Oh my gosh!
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
Whoa.
What is it?
This is getting intense.
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
She seems really cold and angry.
Lana, she kept quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Ah, which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman.
Whoa.
The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial.
Yep.
Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
That's right.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue.
Oh.
I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Sounds like he struck a nerve.
Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap and cover up his involvement.
What?
What? Nani? Oh, it's hard to do so many voices. Order!
Yeah.
Order! Order!
Oh my God.
Order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That is, impossible.
Whoa. Luke, this is getting so intense.
Your Honor, I was merely, what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It is too late, Mr. Wright.
Whoa.
There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with all this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief high-ranking officer of the law is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
Oh.
I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Chief Gant murdering Detective Goodman. Oh my gosh.
That would probably be the ID report card, which shows that he is the first one to enter the evidence room.
Yeah, it does.
This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. Oh? What? What do you mean by that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean? I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was the 7s. The same as the remaining ID number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime!
Oh my gosh!
Gotcha.
Nice job.
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Oh, nothing. The defense's search of my office was a violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law after this trial. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Uh-oh, we're getting somewhere and making him mad.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm the chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me then, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Oh my god.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
So you can have an alibi?
Exactly. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself.
Uh-oh.
On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Oh, wow. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
Whoa.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Grant on the day of the crime.
Let's see. Proof that the victim
Lost item report.
Yeah, that would be the victim. Lost their item. Oh my gosh.
I hope this is it. Detective Goodman's lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police.
Oh my god.
Yet you're in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. I'm sorry, but he did file it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh!
Whoa.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, the chief of police. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? That's right. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Whoa.
Holy cow. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman? Yes, exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mentioned it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. I'm sorry, but that's not possible. What? According to the record, your card was used only once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Oh, no!
Oh my gosh! He went all weird monster-like.
Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was the most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for the murderer was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit a murder. Wow.
Whoa.
After the murder, you contacted Lana Sky at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright.
Whoa, Luke, you're doing awesome.
That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
How is this possible?
How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after her ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
Whoa.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space.
Whoa.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Knight, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Wouldn't have been...
To move the body? A screwdriver? I don't know.
A screwdriver? Okay, I guess we could present a screwdriver. I don't see how that'll... Do we have a screwdriver? Okay.
Well, I don't know.
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
Whoa.
What's that? A screwdriver?
I don't know if I'm right.
But what does it have to do with this case?
Oops.
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime.
What?
What is the screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So he brought the screwdriver the body was placed in his car. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I? The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Oh boy.
Whoa.
I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that vehicle.
Whoa.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of the prosecutor's car? Yes, Your Honor. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport the evidence from a closed case? Oh, there's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Whoa.
Order! What's going on here? Is there any room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor office. Okay. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify? I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all of this?
I know, right?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. What? I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get over with it. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the chief of police, dang it! This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? I have no proof.
I thought, well...
It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, G? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the Chief of Police. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay,
Oh my
Udgy,
gosh.
I'll leave the rest to you.
Udgy.
Wow.
Udgy, the judge.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Ah!
Huh?
Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't had the honor of hearing her testimony.
Lana!
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse us. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all our questions.
What?
Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Wow.
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, But we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth...
So it's a girl? Okay, well...
The defendant. The defendant, Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Miss Dodgeworth. The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to the defendant's testimony. This court is now in... Hold on.
What?
Chief Gant! Oh, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana?
What?
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
Whoa.
This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
What?
Okay, if there aren't any further objections. Yes, there are. So anyway, guys and gals, that is going to do it for today. This is going way too long. Already at the 55-minute mark. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you with the finale to this long case. Until then, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Bye-bye.
See ya.